You may notice right now that there's no McLaren in the driveway again. If you're watching this video, you've probably seen all the McLaren videos at this point, and you know that recently I had to repossess it from the paint guy who kept it for 2 months and didn't work on it at all. I had to bring it back home. You guys saw we diagnosed like the smoking issue, but since then we've actually sent it off to a new paint shop who said they can knock it out in 1 week. And it should be done in 1 week. So we'll see how it actually does play out, but I have a good feeling about this one. And now the McLaren is once again out of the driveway. I'm gonna be focusing on finishing up the CBR 1000RR rebuild project. Somebody laid this bike down and didn't want to repair it, basically handed it over to me, said it ran fine, but this thing does not run fine. So next video you guys are gonna see, I'm trying to get this thing to run. I already fixed everything cosmetically besides the actual body panels, but this thing just needs to run now, actually. So that's what I'm doing in the meantime, and you guys should see a video about that in like a couple days probably. So let's talk about the McLaren paint job. I said, and I was planning to do it myself because there's nobody willing to give me like a decent price for like a paint job on a McLaren for just the front panels. It's really complicated to explain to shops that I'm trying to get quotes from that this is a YouTube project, and I know you're seeing a McLaren through your screen right now that I'm showing you. We're on a Honda Civic budget with this thing. I don't need you to make this a show car or anything. So any professional shop I'm hitting up isn't really, it's not that they don't understand it, they're just tacking on a zero because it's a McLaren. And because that's the case, and that's what I was kind of running into, the wall I was hitting with the paint job and everything, it just wasn't a very viable option to send it to a shop to get painted. The first guy was gonna give me a good deal and said he could knock it out in 2 weeks. You guys know how that turned out. The second shop is doing it for the same price as the first guy was gonna do, but they say they can do it in a week, and they actually have good reviews on Google, and they also have a social media presence as well, so I can like look at their work and stuff. That's the thing that the first paint guy lacked, was I couldn't actually see like good examples of his work. This shop's giving me a great deal, and I can see how good of work that they do, and it's pretty dang good. We'll talk more about the painter that actually hit me up. It's starting to get a little bit late, and I have to go get some stuff for the studio to bring it over there. Since the last video you guys saw here, I've been working on furnishing this new studio that we moved into, so I guess I might as well take you guys over there, show you what I've been up to outside of the McLaren project. All right, just made it over here to the studio. A lot messier than I remember leaving it last week, but it is messy because I am trying to hang studio foam on this wall so we can create like a podcast area here. Today is actually gonna serve a good purpose now that I have like my camera and everything here. I can actually kind of visualize what it'll look like when we set up some chairs here. Just make a cool little podcast area. Anyway, so this is my job for the next couple days probably. I do have some new flooring to put down on this floor. Obviously the brick's not gonna stay. It was just so I could really visualize what a dark floor would look like in here before I actually pulled the trigger, you know? All right, so on the McLaren video where I took the car back from the first paint guy, at the very end of that, I said, if you own a paint shop and you can mix the paint for me or whatever, I'm just gonna spray it myself. It's the most cost effective, and I don't have to wait another month or whatever for another paint shop to do it. So there's a guy in the LA area who owned a body shop who's been watching the full McLaren series up to this point. So he hit me up and was asking, you know, what the budget is and what the timeline is and whatnot. I was like, basically as cheap as possible, and like 2 days is the timeline and the budget. And he got the point from that. He said that he could do it in 1 week, like no problem 1 week, and he gave me a fantastic deal just as far as price and everything goes. And he was very responsive. That is one thing I did not get from the first paint guy. Well, I got none of that from the first paint guy, obviously. But the first guy just did not reply to anything in any decent time frame. This guy literally was DMing me like a minute after any message I sent, no matter what time of the day or night. The shop I brought it to was called Irwindale Collision Center. It's down near LA. The dude was hooking me up, and so I figured it's close enough I can just take it over there, drop it off, and then make a trip home, and then make one more trip down there, and then one more trip home. So that's what we did. My dad and I loaded it up, took it down there, drove back. It's been sitting there for already a few days, but this dude is they are knocking it out. I want to wait until it's actually done to like totally plug these guys, but they are absolutely knocking it out. They're sending me pictures literally every day of like the progress they're making, and they're laying paint down right now already. It hasn't even been a week yet, and they're already spraying the paint. You guys I don't think you guys can really fully grasp how excited I am for just this whole thing, like actually seeing the car get finished up right now. I am looking at pictures of the paint on the panels right now. And I could easily say this is probably the coolest experience I've had on the project or, you know, for a while. Like, it's so cool seeing this finally come together looking like a real car. For the first time ever, it doesn't feel like a project anymore. It feels like a real car that I get to just drive around at this point, you know? So anyway, that's the status on the McLaren. Again, I don't want to say like too much and sing too many praises here on this video, but they are so responsive and they're hooking me up so hard. And it looks like they're doing such a good job that there's almost no way I'm not gonna be plugging these guys for eternity after this. Like, they're absolutely hooking it up. And I could not be more excited to just, based on what they're sending me already, like I could not be any more excited for this. We're tentatively picking this thing up in roughly 4 days. That's the time we set like a week ago to aim for pickup this Saturday. I think you guys are gonna be watching this on Wednesday right now. And this Saturday is when we're picking it up. And then hopefully a few days after that, the whole car will be assembled again, not stripped down like you guys have been seeing it for 2 videos. It's gonna be like fully put together and like 100% assembled for all the parts that I have for it and everything. I can't believe that it's actually done. Like, the car is to the point where it's like I can fully put it together and fully assemble it one last time and button up all the little loose ends and the DIY things that I've done so far to just make sure the thing works. I can actually fully commit to putting the full thing together now. Here's one picture. I don't know if you guys can even see this. I'm gonna just do like a mega zoom all the way into my phone. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it is looking so good. They even painted the hood when I said, look, I just want like a freaking quick, easy paint job. Just mask it off and just spray the paint. Like, it doesn't need to be great. I already know at this point that it's not gonna be perfect anyway. The car is like a twice salvage, cheapest McLaren ever freaking crashed and bought, but they are legit turning this thing into a show car as we're speaking right now. They are going so far above and beyond that it's not even funny. Like, I hope this guy's not gonna like double the price on me when I actually see it. So anyway, that's where we're at on the McLaren project. Obviously, if you're cool enough and are following the Instagram, you have already seen stories and some live posts and stuff of updates I've been getting from the paint guy. I'll roll a video clip at the very end of this video of some stuff I've already posted on Instagram, but I cannot express in words how excited I am to see this thing in person. The next time I see this car, I'm going to be walking up to it and experience it in a way that I have not experienced it yet. I'm gonna see it in like a whole different light. When my dad and I just dropped it off less than a week ago, it was a project car. Like, it didn't even feel like an actual car. I haven't even really thought of actually driving it on the road, like at any point. It just as like a daily car. The next time I see it, it's going to feel like an actual car. It's hard to put into words right now what I'm feeling, because I'm looking at all the pictures they're sending me of the car with paint on it. Anyway, that's just how I'm feeling right now. I've been working late nights here at the studio, and it's just a work in progress. And you know, I do a lot during the day and I don't always have time to keep you guys completely updated every week. Even though I'd like to post every week, ideally, it's, you know, it's just tough for me to get lots of stuff out all the time. It's been an awesome adventure, and this is just so exciting for me right now. It's just something to look forward to, you know. I guess to an extent, even though you guys don't see kind of behind the scenes here, what I'm doing, setting up for my other, you know, photography business. It's fun to just kind of memorialize it here in videos, you know. When I'm 30 years older than I am right now, and my kids are all asking like, what was life like 30 years ago, Dad, when we were still tiny kids? I guess these are the kind of videos that they'll probably want to reference back to, and I can remind myself, you know, how life used to be. I'm glad to finally have a studio space big enough to do this kind of stuff at. And I'm excited for that studio, that podcast room that I'm setting up right now. When that's done, I'm hoping to have some good conversations with good people. It'll be a fun thing to do. And if you're in the Fresno area, if you want to rent the space out and do some of your own content, hit me up, send me a DM. I'd love to have you. So next video, you guys should be seeing that CBR 1000 video. And then soon after that, you guys should be seeing the next video on the McLaren. So I'm very excited for all of it. And I do realize that none of this would be possible without you guys just watching these videos. It's stupid to say, like, it's crazy to think about that you guys watching these free videos is giving me such an opportunity to do what I actually enjoy, you know, and not have to just, you know, go with the monotony of daily schedules all the time. You know, it's like I get to just work on cool cars and motorcycles and stuff on my free time. Really cool. Anyway, that's it. That's the update we have on the McLaren. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am about this. It's gonna be absolutely awesome. And that series is almost wrapping up. It's crazy to think about that hopefully soon that car will be on the road within the next few weeks. That's really what I'm hoping. It's been a long journey getting to this point. I'm excited to just drive it and then move on to another fresh project. It's gonna be awesome. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys have a fantastic day today. And if you need anything, I'm always here. Just shoot me a DM or an email. Catch you guys next time.